Hi, everybody. Recruiting Animal here on March 30th, 2022. And we got an old friend back from the show, Philip Tomlinson, right? That's your name, Philip Tomlinson. Okay. And he used to look like a hippie. Now he's just looks like a bum. He's unshaven. I guess it's,
hey,
cool.
I'm unemployed. It helps.
Oh, again, he's unemployed. Last time, here's the thing. Here's why I wish he wouldn't have said that, because last time he was on, he was job hunting, and it was years ago, and we tore him to shreds on the show. I gotta say, because he's a soft-spoken kind of a guy, and we told him he was way too meek, and he's going to strike out, and he went out and got himself a marketing manager's job. Am I right about that, Phil?
Yep.
Yeah, he got it himself. He just did very well. I don't know why he's unemployed now. We'll get to that. But before we get going, I just want to warn everybody.
I'm unemployed.
Yeah, right. If anybody makes a comment about Rich Rosen's hair, I'm going to come over there and beat the crap out of you, okay? Just get that straight. That's just the point, Michael G. Cox. You didn't have to add that, okay?
Hey, Rich, did you hear that at all?
No, I just saw Animal flipping out. I couldn't have my audio on.
Oh, man.
Maybe it's better that he didn't.
Yeah. I just like having a seizure. I didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. So let me just see if there's anything else if I want to get going. Okay, so that was the warning. Okay, I got another question, though. It's related. It's not really I think it relates to recruiting, but I can't figure out how. If The Rock, I can't remember his real name, Dwayne something or other.
Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, if he would have been the host at the Academy Awards, would Will Smith have had the guts to go up there and punch him in the face? I don't think so.
I don't know, man. The power of
the power of ego, man.
The
power of Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah, he would have crushed him. And that just made me thinking again about, Rich Rosen's rule. Don't take crap from any of these clients,
Yeah, but he's not slapping anybody either.
Well, no. The Rich Rosen rule is if they're trouble, walk away. Don't go to their office and beat them up, okay? He never recommended that.
It's why waste your time, man.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I can't really relate it that well. I have one more question about that. Oh, no, I guess that's it. Okay. Well, here's another warm-up question. I posted about these people who say sitting on the floor is much better than having a standing desk. Now, I know Rich just got a kind of a standing adjustable.
What does that make? Who's sitting on the floor, dude? That sounds so uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Okay. You should be a little more diverse oriented. It's this Asian American couple are promoting it, and their video is going crazy. Okay, and the only other people who are promoting it are yoga types, and they're saying it's just much healthier for you to get up and down from a squat. They call it the Asian squat. Okay, so nobody hears. I'm kind of interested in it, so
you should do it. You should do it on the show.
Yeah.
You should put the camera down.
On the floor. Yeah, and I'll do the show from the floor. Okay, let me see. Okay, Rich recommends something. If he's going to recommend it on the show, a tool, I'm going to go out and buy it right after the show. I wanted to ask him, but I asked him online, is it good? And he answered me in some kind of code. And when I said
that was a typo.
I don't understand that. He never replied. Okay, it's called Zero In. Zeroin, or for those Americans, Zeroin. I got a fellow Canadian here today. Okay, that's Phil. So what is Zero In? It's an email verifier, Rich?
Yeah, email. Like I said, I've only played with it a little bit, but it's on AppSumo, and it's for $50.
American, it's more for us, okay?
Yeah, 50. Well, listen, that's your own fault.
Yeah,
it's $50.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, you got 2 months to try it out. If it doesn't work, you get your money back. You got nothing to lose.
Okay. Did you pay for it?
I did. It's one of the rare things I tried, because you know what? The AppSumo stuff is awesome. Like I don't. The people at Walaxy, they have another app on there, Walaxy, right now, which is another campaign automation.
How do you spell that?
WAALXY. AXY, but they're kind of obnoxious people that I found. So if you had tried this product before and didn't buy it, they won't let you do the AppSumo deal. So fuck them. So, I mean, I'm like, dude, I tried it for 2 weeks. She's like, yeah, it doesn't matter.
You liked it?
It was okay. I only tried it for 2 weeks, you know, since they're not letting me use the AppSumo deal. No, I don't like it.
Well, the AppSumo deal, they lose money on, you know, if you buy something on AppSumo, they're losing money.
They lose money, but they get the markets, they get the product, the users to get the venture capital.
You're right. We're talking about it. So
yeah, but that's what like Outplay did and Seamless and all these other companies.
Okay.
I mean, that's why. Well, that's why you buy them. Even Zero In, you buy it for $50. You got it for life instead of paying. And I just think there's 3 licenses or something with it. But and then instead of paying,
no, only one person for $50. You got to pay more for it.
Yeah, though I think the Walaxy one had Walaxy had the 3 licenses. But either way,
but you didn't say what it did. What is
I don't want to promote them because they wouldn't let me use it. So screw them.
not Walaxy, Zero In. It does
email verification. So it's
it scrapes LinkedIn. That's what scared me why I didn't buy it because immediately.
Grower said you're not gonna get kicked off of LinkedIn for doing simple things. You know, they'll give you a little warning first. It's
Did you get warned?
I've gotten warned a few times, but not from that. I mean, this was years ago. I had this jackass who I was hired to try to do something. Yeah. And he ended up screwing up my entire account. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, it was one of those,
I could work for Rich. I'm a jackass.
No, you just got a big hat. You're not a jackass. No, this guy was trying to do update. He was trying to he would go do all your prep or your prospecting on LinkedIn, and he did a horrible job and basically spammed everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what prospecting is, right?
No.
Okay, we're gonna get to that. You know, because Phil came here.
Doesn't Phil work in marketing?
Yeah, Phil came.
Yeah, I have a bit of a spam background.
Okay. That's a department that should survive in the world.
Phil came here because of an article on the Great Resignation, but I was going to say something else before I got to that, and you guys made me forget. Shame on you.
The show is better for it.
Exactly.
Okay. No, this Zero In thing. I'm gonna buy it. You would recommend it, Rich? Yeah.
I would recommend to try it for 2 months. If you don't, get your money back.
I never like returning anything, to tell you the truth.
Oh God, don't be such a Canadian.
I've done that a few times.
Who cares if it doesn't work? You click refund. They give you your money right back.
I did that with a couple.
I know. They why not?
Okay. I'll just recommend again on AppSumo. I bought Snap Downloader for $20. I love it. Okay. See? I love it.
What does it do?
There you go. It downloads video and audio, and it lets you do some simple editing as well. I edit the show on it right now. Not on Flixier, what I paid $100 for.
Hey, I used Flixier.
Returned it.
Yeah, I got it because hey, Sasha. Okay.
Hi.
Okay, let me do the introduction. So, Phil Tomlinson, do you have your own website now, or how?
No, I didn't set anything up.
You're a goof, okay? Because you know what to do. You know all about that stuff. Your job hunting.
I'm ultra lazy.
You know, last time
that's why he's in marketing and not sales.
Easy.
You know, the only
true.
That's why he's in marketing, where they don't really measure very much.
Yeah. He was on a good. He worked for a good company, but they didn't. There was no refunds. Okay, they were selling. I bought expensive stuff that didn't fit me, and I couldn't send it back.
The last hunt, you're not going to get a refund on because it's our outlet. It's expensive, but it's still cheaper than it would be at full price.
Okay. You know what? Rich Rosen told me to buy warm gloves. I have my hands. There's something wrong with them. I bought these 2 pairs of really warm gloves for $100. I think that was half price, and they were too small. But they were too small. I didn't get to try them on. So I bought them.
Did you even return them?
They didn't take returns.
It's the outlet at the time doesn't accept any returns, so it's half off.
Why would you buy anything from there? What company was it?
Last Hunt.
The Last Hunt.
They
now ship to the U.S.
Well, it doesn't sound like it's worth it.
I mean, well, there's some good deals there.
If there's no refunds, if you're trying stuff on, how am I going to put my hands to the computer and try them on?
The true trick that Animal skipped was you buy it on Altitude Sports, which is the main site. When it's full price, then you return it and you wait for it to appear on the outlet. And
that's not kosher, okay?
Wow.
Why don't you just buy it from the outlet and return it to the other store?
You know what? I bought stuff at Atmosphere.
That doesn't work.
Well.
People tried.
Yeah.
I bought stuff at Atmosphere. And Sport Check is also part of Altitude, and they allow you to return it.
No, they're not. No,
No?
Altitude Sports is a separate.
Oh, they're part of
when
Atmosphere. Atmosphere.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
Hey, recruiters, sorry, we've gone on. I started this because I wanted
Tangent.
He's looking for a job, and he's a smart guy. Okay, I'm going to endorse him, but he's not smart enough to set up his own website with a catchy URL to hire me. Okay, you should do that, Phil.
Who does that?
Smart people. Okay.
I'm
People
kidding.
don't come on this show, Animal. Come on.
Okay,
I'm
Rich Rosen. Okay, I just want to introduce the people who are here. Super Rich Rosen, raise your hand. Okay, the guy with alopecia. Okay.
Oh, don't make me slap you.
Okay. Cornerstone. He's cornerstonesearch.com. Michael G. Cox, thesalesrecruiter.com.
Yo.
Raise your hand. Yo.
Still have all the follicles.
Nice.
Clang.
Nice day job.
We're good.
Clang.so. Clang.so. Yeah, he is the IT recruiter who built his own applicant tracking system because the others just weren't good enough for him. Okay. Clang.so. Sasha, she's right below me, but I know she won't be fine. Sasha, I want to keep saying Petrovic. It's Sasha Tasanovic over there in Serbia, also called Stanislava.
Hi there.
Stanislava. Okay. And our fantastic buddy, Tom Tuna the Tuna.
Hey.
Yeah.
What's happening,
Okay.
guys?
CHUNA. Okay. So let's get to this article, The Great Resignation. Phil read this article online, and he thought it was so exciting that he had to come here and talk about it. I read about it. It's just one of these articles that blame recruiters, okay? But I'll let him open up. Do you want to start, or should I, Phil? Go ahead. What agitated you about this Great Resignation?
Oh, it blames recruiters, and it tries to frame it as people leaving their jobs regret and want to go back to their jobs, which at least in my experience has not been the case. I'm very happy about, I've quit 3 jobs in the last year. It's been really fun.
In the last year?
Don't brag on it in public, okay? 3 jobs?
In 1 year?
In 1 year. I wish I could be a job tourist because I've realized I really enjoy the interview process. I have no problem getting interviews. I get in, I get to finally see if they're talking the talk, because I've realized in interviews, it's always a beautiful story. Everything is fun. And then you get into the work, and one job, I'm happy they gave me an assessment.
Raise your chin a little. It's just, I can't stand that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now there's the point. So who told you the good things about the companies that were not true? Because that's what the article said too. That's what's causing this Great Resignation. They said all these people leaving the jobs, it's because the recruiters misrepresent the job. They misrepresent how fantastic the company is. Young people like Phil, who's not so young anymore, they join the company. They join the company and they're disappointed and they leave. That's what it is. They blame it all on the recruiters misrepresenting things. So go ahead, Phil. Tell us who misrepresented the jobs to you, so you got in there and left.
So, well, my first was just long career, Altitude Sports. I didn't want to spend my life selling jackets, so I was like, know what? I've been here 7 years. Let's move on.
You're in marketing. You're not selling anything.
Yes, he is.
I was doing advertising. So when you're doing Google Ads, you do have metrics, and your goal is to perform.
Those damn metrics.
And I was there 7 years. I moved up to product, so it was making site improvements, working with engineering, making sure that people really, really bought jackets, even though they might not have budgeted for it. So, anyways, I performed well. Switch. I started just putting words into LinkedIn. So I've always liked toys and I like music. So I pretty much wrote toys, found one company in Montreal that manufactured toys, applied, and they were fairly honest with the job. And when I got hired, I told them I'm going to stay here maybe a month, and then I'm going to, if it's better than what I expect, I'll stay longer. It was pretty much what I expected, so I left. And they were disappointed, but I told them, hey, I told you guys I'd probably last a month.
They hired you on that basis? You told them up front, I'll take it.
Hey, transparency is very good. I've learned that if you don't bullshit, people appreciate it. And
we don't.
Well, it helps everyone's desperate.
We would have thrown this
Oh
guy
yeah,
out.
I've
Tom.
realized that too now. That companies are desperate, especially for marketing skills.
Yeah.
It's
next year when you need a job and they're not so desperate, they're going to be like, "What the hell did this guy just do?"
No, he's going to hide all of that.
Story.
He's going to hide it. He's not going to put 3 jobs in one year. He's going to be a
consultant.
Resume.
He's a consultant for the last 2 years.
That's right. No, he'll just, like every other person, he'll just extend the end date on that one job, and it'll look. No, I was there for a year and a half. It's okay.
Your background check must be wrong.
Oh, they were all contract
positions.
I have a question.
I've actually updated my CV to make it look, because now I'm like, oh, I should stop job jumping. So I've split my experience into 2. I've put career experience and I've put work experience. So career experience is the first part, all altitude sports, and then in the back is all the little jobs I've done since.
I think that's a good idea. Sasha has a question.
Yeah, I mean, he just answered my question because I wanted to see what if an employer asks you for references.
Oh, I got good references from all of the past companies. The one I just quit.
Where have I heard that before?
Hey, if you're transparent, the last one I joined, I was marketing employee number 2. They had 1 software engineering guy, and I realized that why are they paying for more marketing when they have this junior employee that just needs to be taught the skills and he could handle 99% of the work. So I just said, I'm going to train this guy, and then once he's ready, I'm going to quit. And that's pretty much what I did. So now I have, there's a junior employee making a lot less than they were paying me. That's now doing essentially.
That sounds real brainy. Okay. Oh, I want to take this back.
Where are you located, by the way, Phil?
Montreal.
I'm in Montreal.
Can't you tell he's got a French-Canadian accent? I didn't realize it before. He says, duh.
Bonjour, ça va?
He says D instead of T.
Yeah, I know. 100%. I've never unlearned that.
Even though he's got an English last name. Okay, but here's 2 things that came up. The Great Resignation.
There's more than 2 things.
No. All these people quitting the jobs, they claim it's because of recruiters misrepresenting them. I want to know if the recruiters agree with that. And number 2,
it's never another adult's fault. Come on. I mean,
I love it. No, it's always another adult's fault.
Yeah.
That's a lot of crap.
Number 2 is, let me finish, please. Number 2 is, if somebody told you, well, I'll try your job for a month, and if I don't like it, I'm going to leave. Okay. Would anybody actually consider this guy? Okay, take a wide open. Come on, go ahead.
No, I would have flushed him.
You would have flushed him.
Yep, I'd have been like, see ya. I need somebody a bit more committed.
Never would have sent him in. You know. Not a chance he would have gone to the client.
Oh,
Donna?
yeah.
Donna?
I feel like I came late to the party, but the little bit I heard, no way.
Okay. Michael G. Cox, would you hire this guy?
I would have never submitted him. I would have never submitted.
You know what? I got to tell you, we did the same.
No one would have called him.
With the last time he was on, it was at least 5 years ago, maybe more. Okay, 7 years ago. It was before you got that job, right? It was 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And we slashed him just like this. This guy's a loser. Okay, he went and got himself a job with no experience. He stayed 7 years. Now he's a hot property. He's telling us. Okay, so I'm willing to believe that we're wrong. I mean,
we're not wrong. He just doesn't need a recruiter.
I don't need a recruiter. I think that's the main thing. Right now I go straight to the hiring managers. Some of the times now I'm trying to skip the actual ATS and job site. So I just figure out who's the hiring manager. Do I really want to work here? And then I just send them a message going, hey, your company seems interesting. This is why. And I just go for it. And sometimes I get no answer. Sometimes I offend people because I've now started asking questions about Glassdoor reviews, which I realize hiring managers do not like when you ask them, why are all the positive reviews from current employees and stuff like that? But I'm having a lot of fun.
Glassdoor is it's a sensitive topic with any employer.
I've realized that it's
and your recent job hopping is like reminiscent of a college frat boy's dating life. You know, it's like
my grandmother actually makes that joke saying that she wishes I would put as much effort into finding a girlfriend than I.
You had a girlfriend before. Your picture had a girl in it. What happened to her?
Yeah, we broke up. I mean, it's life.
Okay.
I've had two girlfriends since I've been on the show.
Okay.
Attaboy.
This guy doesn't need anybody. He's a rock star. Hell.
Okay. Well, hold on a second.
You typically need to have your girlfriend to job ratio fairly even, but you're running low on girlfriends, man. You got to step it up.
Hold on a second.
Yeah,
okay.
I do.
I think that's what he gets all these jobs for. It's just dating sites. He just keeps going.
Let me take a step back. So none of the recruiters would forward this guy for an interview. I'm going to use Tom's eloquent term.
Not if he said something like, I just want to try it for a month.
Yeah. Tom, I would flush him. Whoa, that's rough.
Most employers have a probation period. So what's the difference?
The difference is,
but they're not hiring you for 90 days. Go ahead, Donna. Sorry.
I was just going to say, as a recruiter, they're paying us a fee for you. So they might let you try it for a month on their own, hiring you and whatever, if they're not, but if they're going to pay me a fee, they're not going to, there's no way.
No.
So
only a very
change your contract.
We're going to change our contract just so we can deal with a butterfly that's going to fly from job to job.
But hold on, he's telling us the facts are proving him wrong. Us wrong. He says I go in there and I tell them I'm not going to stay unless I really love it.
There's a difference between getting a job on your own and getting a job through a recruiter.
Which is what I just said.
Yeah, exactly. And Donna's right. Exactly. I mean, Michael needed a translation. Animal needed a translation.
we have to know our market. The recruiters, we need the desperate and the helpless. That's who we help. The people that are self-directed, they don't need us. So,
Wait, I don't help the desperate or the helpless. I don't understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I thought good recruiters poach.
Yeah,
good people.
That's all.
You're like I had a guy on the phone that last week. He was telling me he was a humble warrior. Was his thing. And meanwhile, the guy he's hit his quota as a sales guy. Hit his quota once in the past, I think 6 years. And then I'm like, well, listen, I'm trying to get the guy.
At that point, you have no alternative but to be humble.
Exactly. He was so freaking arrogant. That was the best part. He was so arrogant. And then I'm like, listen, you're telling me of all these great references and recommendations. Why don't you put them on LinkedIn? He's like, I don't use LinkedIn that way. And I'm like, that's what it's for. And the guy, it was just like Phil is just like, you know what? I'm too cool for school. I can jump jobs every 6 weeks. No one's going to care. But you know what? Come next year.
I want to correct something I would love to be able to jump every 6 months. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'd get to learn a lot about different companies. Yeah, but that's startup worlds. I don't want, but I have realized
I don't want to take a risk.
Stability.
I want to be the risk. I don't want to take a risk.
Yeah, I mean I'm not crazy.
100%. 100%. Yeah, no, that I would agree with.
This guy.
This guy should be a recruiter. I think he should. You move from transaction to transaction. You're bold now.
Animal, not all of us are very transactional.
Wait a second. He said he was nervous to come on the show. He's fighting with everybody here. I have to shut him up.
Hey,
he's got another show in 5 minutes. It's okay. He's going to the next.
He's going to quit on us in 5 minutes.
Why don't you want to be a recruiter? Why is that? You don't want to be a recruiter?
He'd have to pick up the phone a whole lot more.
Yeah, I wouldn't do too bad. I think I'd have to figure out what metrics make sense. I mean, it's a lot of calling people. It's borderline. I'd borderline go into spam for sure because I'm lazy.
You're already calling people. You're calling
what are you talking about going into spam? It's an email and a phone call. The hard part is pressing that green button on the phone.
That's
but why did you why is one of your virtues?
That's not hard.
I see. I missed the very beginning, but
you didn't miss anything. He's a lazy marketer.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So let me just, I'll tell Donna, I'll bring Donna and Ernie up to speed. This guy was on the show.
Call. I was on a
Ernesto.
Good for you. I'm glad just making the money. Okay. Hi, Ernie.
Donna picks up the phone.
Foodindustryrecruiter.com. Okay. This guy was on the Recruiting Animal show, back on the audio show, I don't know, 8 years ago or something. And
I kind of missed that show too, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay. He was looking for, I love this show better. Okay. I
I missed the post show. Remember back in the day when we used to give a grade? Like we would grade the host and then we would grade the guest.
Yeah. Oh. I'm giving Animal a 4, okay?
Yeah, that was great.
On a scale of 100. The song at the beginning was the best. The song at the beginning was the best. Yeah, everyone would never sing.
Yeah, okay.
It was so much
fun. Remembers. Okay, but anyway, he was on the show. He was looking for a job, young guy in Montreal, and he had no experience. And we tore him to shreds. Even we had a professional career advisor there, and she especially.
Oh yeah, I hated her.
Who was that?
I love her. Peggy McKee. Okay, and she was great. Okay, but
she is awesome.
Nobody had confidence in him, okay? And he went out and proved all of us. He proved all of us wrong. He got himself a good marketing job. Who's doing that?
Ernesto.
This used to happen every show for half the show on the audio show. Anyway, he got himself a good job, and now he's out of that job, and he's had 3 jobs in the past year. He gets himself in the door and tells him up front, oh, if I like it, I'm going to stay. I'm a typical, what is he, a millennial or a Gen Z, or I don't know, one of these.
I don't know.
On that article on the Great Resignation, all of the comments said these young people, they're stupid. I got to tell you, when I was young, the old guys were saying the exact same thing. They're crazy. They don't want to work. They're lazy bums. Nothing's changed decade after decade. So you can't go by that. Okay. So
I don't think it's stupid. I like the fact that it's working for him.
I do too.
If he were working with a recruiter, it would work if that recruiter had like short-term contract type gigs. Putting them out on contract and knowing that at the end of 6 months, we're going to put them somewhere else.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. Okay. So
good luck finding a recruiter that does that kind of stuff.
Rich Rosen.
I haven't needed a recruiter yet, so we'll see. Maybe
I'm finished with your job hunt. I'm finished with your job hunt. Okay. Is there anything urgent to say about his job hunt now? Just speak up.
There is nothing urgent.
Your
about
Canadian
his
tax dollars are paying for his lifestyle, basically.
Rich Rosen.
Actually, my savings are paying for my lifestyle. Not I've gotten 0 money from the government. I don't. Yeah. Not
you didn't have an accent last time you were on the show, though. I just gotta tell you that. I remember very well.
Hey, I have lost all my socialization skills with the pandemic.
Yeah. The pandemic. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me just get to this. Rich Rosen and Ivan both had dramatic stories that they posted about bad things happening to them this past week. Okay, so I just thought we would take a look at them. Does anybody else have something they want to say about anything before I move into their sob stories?
Yes. Okay, yes. Go ahead. Zachary, hey man, turn on your camera.
Zach's actually he's a new recruiter for me. He just started with me last week.
Shut up. Yeah. Zachary, what the hell are you doing working with Rich Rosen?
Learning from the best.
Run while there's still time.
Okay, Zach.
You need to shave your head, Zachary.
Yeah.
No, but just in the middle. Just in the middle.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? We didn't get to make Will Smith jokes about Tom because we took it out on Rich Rosen.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I won't be late next time.
Yeah.
Okay. So Rich Rosen says, and you stop me, Rich, and you can pick it up whenever you want. I
don't remember what the story is, so.
Well, you'll remember as I start reading it. I just had a client give an offer $5K below the current salary. Okay, you want to pick it up from there and tell us what happened?
Yeah, we ended up placing the guy actually. But
I'll read the story.
But that got negotiated, didn't it?
It was $5K below and 10,000 shares of stock for a Series A company. And, in this market for a very tough to fill role. So why would, it was just, it was a ludicrous kind of package, to be honest with you. But,
hold up. I can't hear you.
You know what? If someone wants to listen to the Recruiting Animal show, don't listen to another show at the same time, okay?
It comes on by itself on Spotify. It comes on all the time. But anyway,
smash it.
Hold on, Rich. Here's my point. Everybody says that companies are too smart to lowball anybody, and they lowballed your candidate. Am I right?
They did.
Why? Did you prep them? They say a good recruiter would never let a client do something like that. They know what was going to happen. What was wrong with you?
Oh, man, you thought we could control human behavior.
A good recruiter gets the
companies
deal done.
do a low ball.
Yeah, a good recruiter gets the deal done.
There you go.
And, in this case, you sell the benefit of all the other benefits. There's a higher upside, better place to work, better growth, better this, better that. Penny, you have a couple small step back for a giant step forward.
Did you get it done?
Of course. Zach, what did we get done? I got 4 deals done yesterday? 5 deals done.
Oh my God. And they keep coming. They keep coming.
Yeah. It could be the biggest month ever. Can't wait.
Okay. So I didn't understand that story. He let his client get out of hand, but somehow he rescued it. He doesn't want to.
Yeah, but according to what he does, he's going to cut the client now.
Yeah. Okay.
No more client.
We're going to close 2 more deals.
That's it. Run. Go. Get the hell out of here.
Ivan also had a Phil. Are you okay? I'm just checking on you. You're okay? Phil, you're okay? Montreal.
Yeah,
okay, good. I'm just checking. I like to take care of the quiet guys, okay? So
Zach doesn't have his microphone on. You got to put your microphone on, Zach.
Okay. Ivan had a complicated story about a backdoor hire. I got a feeling if I let him do it, it's going to get disorganized. So you start off, though, okay? You want to tell your story about how they screwed you? Your good client?
You can try to tell it if you want, and I'll.
Good client and getting screwed generally don't go hand in hand.
Okay, no, Ivan, you start off, and I'll correct you.
Okay, I'm gonna be lazy. Okay, so basically, like they talked to there was a candidate they got to know in some like university project.
No, that's not where you start. You've been dealing with this company since 2016 for 6 years already. They're a good client. That's the context. Okay, that's important. Come on.
Okay, so it's a good client, long relationship, many hires, all good. And now they're writing an email, hey, we hired this person that you sent in October 21, because the backstory is like they applied to, we worked with this person in a university project in September 2020, right? So like 13 months before.
A year before you sent in that candidate, they already knew the candidate.
Yes. And I actually, when I handed them in October 21, I pointed that out because obviously I interviewed the people and made really good notes of my ATS-Clang.so so people can read it actually. And they basically, I put it there. I'm like, hey, now it's October. You talked to the person 13 months ago. So this is the candidate. You talked to them back then. They rejected the offer because of COVID, so they couldn't move. But now they're ready to move. So here you go. They rejected the candidate in October 21. I was like, okay, like maybe the person is not good.
Why did they reject the candidate? Wasn't good, or was it because they said, look, Ivan, we know this guy already. We'll call him if we want him.
Yeah, that's they were not clear about. Yeah, I think like the manager, like they couldn't open a position.
So now they've hired him. I think Ivan doesn't deserve a fee, quite frankly, on this. Anybody think he deserves
Ivan isn't the search bar on their ATS. My job.
So now what happened? Okay, I continue. So now what happened?
Wait, hang on. What's the contract say? Is your contract you submitted the candidate, right?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So actually it's like there is a protection period, right?
Yeah.
So
no. You submitted, but they rejected.
Check my contract real quick.
They didn't accept Rich. They didn't accept his submission because they already knew him, and they told him, "This is not your guy. We know this guy, and we'll call him if we want."
But they didn't tell this in October. They just rejected without any saying, because normally if they already know the candidate, they write a different email which says, "Hey, this candidate was already handed in 4 months ago from another recruiter. They were rejected, so they have another template that they sent." Right? This time they sent just reject. They didn't say, hey, we did. So they considered, so in October, if they would have hired the person, I would have gotten a fee.
What should he do? I say he shouldn't be paid. Sasha, what do you think?
I'm trying to understand the whole story.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
in 2020.
Wait, hang on. If they rejected him because they already had in their system and they're having an active conversation with him, that's great. If they rejected him because, he just reactivated him, and it was just because he's in your system doesn't mean anything.
Zach is kissing ass. Zach is kissing ass.
No, well, I'm an attorney, so from a legal standpoint, but for Ivan getting him going again, they would have hired him. They would have talked to him. So without Ivan's the proximate cause of him getting going.
No, Zach, smart ass lawyer.
Did they hire him for this? Did they hire him for the same
How do you
role?
know? How do you know that they called him because Ivan reactivated him in October and not because
Did they
already
call him beforehand?
For September.
They didn't call Ivan.
When was their last contact with this candidate?
They didn't need him before. They had no reason to be in touch with him.
I don't care about that.
Doesn't matter.
This same thing with a different outcome just happened with us, but it was a different outcome. So we had presented somebody who had been presented who was already in their system, right? And this company had even made that candidate an offer that the candidate rejected. So that had happened in the past. And then we represented this person and they hired him. But part of the reason why they hired him was because it was our people explaining to him more in depth about the company and about the position and why he was foolish for not taking it way back when. So in that case, that company even came to us and said, hey, just exactly, I forget who just said this, like, were it not for you guys bringing this back around, this would not be a hire for us. And we got the fee.
Got your fee.
So yeah.
And I just did a split with a guy a month ago. Same thing. He gave me a candidate that I had placed like a year ago or 2 years ago, rather. I forgot about him. He got let go, whatever. Either way, I don't remember the guy. So this guy brought him to my attention.
Oh, Rich is an honest man. Let me pay
What
you
does
on
your
the back for
contract
that.
say, Rich? Is it 12 months?
Mine's 12 months. Yeah.
Mine is 12 months. So
I will tell you though, now if they want to like play with the fee, they want like take it from 30 to 25. Oftentimes they'll tell them to make it 2 years. Get something for it, at least the change.
I had a situation once where I submitted a candidate and I was very close with the company, and they told me that they said another recruiter has him. I said, does he have him for this job? He goes, no. I go, give me the name of the other recruiter. And so they did. Called the other recruiter, told him, you want to do a split? I got a situation here. And they told me, yeah. And let's do it. Just do it. I told them
lucky.
what it was.
You had you're a good man, and they were reasonable as well. You're lucky.
Yeah, and then we just sort of did a split together.
I want to hear what the tough guy, Tom Tuna, says about all this stuff. What's the story on Ivan? Okay.
Well, Tom would give a good example from the inside. How would you guys handle this if a candidate was in your system, like that even matters, and Ivan represents that guy and you hadn't spoken to him in the past 12 months?
Hold on, Michael G. Cox, the guy was not simply in their system. It wasn't a resume he sent in, okay?
Well, let me answer Mike's question. Me being me, because I had spent so much time on the outside looking in. If someone brought it to my attention, I would give him the fee. If I wasn't talking to him, wouldn't even question it.
If you hadn't spoken to him about this position in the past 12 months, you got to give up the fee.
Well, that's the thing.
So they claim, and they're like an ethical company. They claim like this other manager, they didn't check the ATS. They're like, oh, back in 2020, we met this person at this university thing.
That's another
you weren't the first one who brought the client to the company. The client was already there 13 months before you interviewed him and represented him, revisit back with the company. And
that doesn't count, Sasha. If the guy was there 13 months in their database and they didn't reactivate him, Ivan did, then Ivan should get a fee.
Yes. Yeah, but then they kind of again reactivated 6 months later after my submit. So I submitted, immediately reject, right? And then 6 months later, they kind of by themselves, another person.
What is your contract state?
Actually, that it should be because it's I don't
think a cash cow. Hold on, the company's a cash cow for him. I think he should step back and say, okay, you guys take this.
Phil, I don't think you. I think that you that they had him internally already, and I would let it go. Get the next one. They'll look at you as a team player. You don't want to be a hard ass. And
but
you
Rich Rosen has contract.
I want to see what Phil says. Okay, the non-recruiter. Go ahead. He's angry.
I would just say
he's angry. When we were audio, I couldn't see his face. If you write
a contract,
it's like the Canadian Larry David, the look on his face,
I'll take that as a compliment.
It's a compliment. It's a good thing.
Much, not so much.
But I think I would just say, like, read the contract, tell them what's in the contract, and then make your decision whether you're willing to break it or not. Like, but if it's in the contract, you need to say, hey, you're in breach, but I'll let it slide or not. But if it's in the contract, you need to remind it.
Or, you know, or if you can see if they're real partners and say, listen, we've done all this great work for you. All right, we had a little misunderstanding on this one. Why don't we take half the fee now? We'll use it as a retainer towards the next 2 placements or whatever. You know, everyone's in it together. We all partners in it. If they're a good company, they'll do it. If they're not, and they're going to stick to their guns, then you got a business decision to make. Do you want to work with these guys, or, you know, or can you trust them anymore?
Ivan, who told you that they wouldn't pay you?
No, they emailed like, okay, now because it's like another, like, we think that, like, we tell you that this is not a backdoor hire. We inform you that this happened.
No. Pay attention to the question. Who told you they were not going to hire you?
Laying the law. Jeez.
Was it HR?
Yeah,
Was it the hiring manager?
No. It was like my direct contact, which is HR. Yeah.
Do you deal with the hiring manager?
Yeah. No, I don't deal with the hiring manager, unfortunately, in this case.
You could do another thing. Just tell them, you know what? I think I'm entitled to something. I'm sending you an invoice, and just send them the invoice. See what they do with it.
Here's a penny.
No, that's not nice because I mean, what Rich said is like
option so far.
I would agree with Rich up until the point that you use it for future retainers.
Yeah,
it should be closed to this one.
Well, it's a way to meet in the middle. You know, at least you're getting something, and plus you're just guaranteeing yourself 2 more or whatever amount of deals. So it's, you want to win the battle or win the war.
Or you just end up asking him, look, this is a situation. I think I should be paid. You don't think I should? How do we fix this? How do we make me feel good? Because I don't feel good right now. And see what they say.
Yeah, that's good. It's actually like the negotiation. Like you have to ask, and then if they provide the answer, because that's already they were today on the call. They were like, "What do you want?" They already asked this in a short call.
It's kind of like goes to what Rich says. You lay the groundwork for them to say, "Hey, well, let's work. And next time I get a retainer, next time I get a fee advance or something." But you know, it's not. We've been doing business a long time, and it's not really cool what you did, because I feel like I cheated.
Ernie, that's my favorite thing I think you've ever said now is, I'm not feeling good right now. How can we make me feel good? Yeah, I like that.
Isn't that very
Me too.
I don't. Awesome. Okay, I like it when Ernie says it, but I'd like
Recruiting it better. Animal doesn't have feelings to begin with, so
I'd like it if you could see a gun on his desk, like in a movie. Yes. The Zoom call he's got a big gun on the side of his desk there. And I'm a real American, and I'm
no guns here.
I'm not happy.
How are you?
I'm not happy. Okay, good? You make me happy. What can you do to make me happy?
Look at my face. Okay, look at my face. He's not happy.
Yeah, there's only 15 minutes left, and we want to give Michael G. Cox his due.
Oh, man.
I have a question before we start off with that. It's related to the topic.
We can rip Michael G. Cox to shreds next week.
We mentioned this topic in our last, not the past week, but the week before. Okay, regarding contracts. Since, for instance, I'm the one who's based in Europe. And if I'm going to go out and work with the United States market, would you recommend that a lawyer who is based in the United States writes me a contract so I can basically make sure that these kind of things don't happen to me?
Yeah, the big problem in the recruiting world is that, like I said, hey, Rich, let me your contract. And I pull some piece out of that. And then I say, hey, Tom, send me a copy of your contract that you use. I pull a piece out, and then you've got this weird Frankenstein-ish thing with the language isn't matching.
Unless you read it over and actually, edit it.
Hey. Recruiters don't do that.
Well, smart recruiters do that.
You know what?
Yeah, it sounds like you're a lazy recruiter.
Yeah, exactly.
I pay for my contract.
Sasha, I remember we raised this, and Ernie said, we should talk about this.
Mike, I'll send you my contract.
But you weren't there. So, but I think it's a good topic. But for you specifically in this case, I think you should speak to Mario, who isn't here today, because he does that kind of work. And I know he uses lawyers as well. So he might actually be able to send you to somebody he's happy with. Okay?
Okay.
Is that reasonable? Is that reasonable?
Yeah, I'm happy with that answer. Thank you.
Okay.
You know, the other thing you should post
do what I did. I got I have a really good friend who does, he's an attorney and he does a lot of contract work. So
is he your cousin?
He's not my cousin.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, Sasha, you should post that on the online on Facebook.
But since having an attorney actually go through and build out the contract for me, I have had zero, and it's only been about a year, I've had zero companies come back to me with all the red lines and all that.
Seriously?
Pain in the ass. Yes, dude, it's crazy.
You have to send me your contract then, because no matter what you write, Zach is a lawyer. He can tell you no matter what they're going to redline it.
Oh, you got the Zach here, a lawyer. Yeah. Oh, we got to interview Zach.
You got to realize.
I
agree with that statement. I agree with that because not Zach, but all the other lawyers that work on the company side, all internals, they have to justify their existence and they have to redline everything. So you could send them a copy of their contract and they would redline it.
Zach, where did you go to law school?
Suffolk in Boston.
I went to Hastings.
Oh, no way.
University of California.
Didn't know you were a lawyer, Ernie.
Ernie, are you a lawyer?
I got a law degree.
Really?
You.
Believe it or not.
You've never alluded to anything about that. But hold on, wait a second here. Something about these lawyers, right? Their writing is incomprehensible. And I know in the legal profession, there's something called plain English, a plain English movement. Okay. And I think it's better, even if you have a formal legal document, if you write it out in reasonable terms. Like Ivan would say, look, if I send you somebody and that person's not active at the time, it's my candidate and it counts for 12 months as my candidate. That's easy to understand. It's not like Shakespearean English, right? Which I don't understand.
My contract is very simple English. That's Zach. You should probably read it over actually.
But you got my email. Send me a copy. I'd be curious.
I'm happy to share it. I don't care. If everyone used my contract, then everyone would be on the same page. There would be no more renegotiation.
I want to be like Rich, super rich. Yeah.
Exactly.
Can we be partners?
Get back to
smack.
Do splits. Everything you do is a split with me.
Okay.
That's funny.
He's my friend.
Donna, prima donna, she notified everybody that Michael G. Cox was going to be interviewed by HR Talk or something like that.
HR Chat.
I
just
Chat. Watched it.
Oh, okay. HR Chats, is it still a Twitter thing or is it now evolved?
Oh, no. That's a Twitter content. I don't think that's on anymore. They've still got lots of chats on Twitter. Okay. I used to have Animal Chat, but it was too much work for me and I didn't enjoy it. But anyway, this is a podcast, HR Chat, and they got Michael G. Cox on. And Donna had the same experience as me. The guy was asking Michael G. Cox questions and Michael G. Cox will give an answer, and we're waiting for the guy to dig in and give him a few follow-ups. Let him go. He patted him on the back.
It felt nice to be able to complete a thought.
He wasn't listening to you. He was tuning out. He was tuning out because you would have this big long answer, and all of a sudden he'd be like, "Yeah, okay, well," and then he'd go to like, he was not listening.
Okay, so I listened.
Donna, did Michael pretend like he knew you?
Oh, I wasn't involved.
Just one-on-one. It was just one-on-one. Okay. So let me just raise a few of them before we go. Okay. Here's the first thing. He says it was all about sales, and Michael G. Cox says, let me see. Here's what the most important things for a recruiter: be able to quickly develop rapport. He didn't say what that means. Convey the value that is apparent in an opportunity. That seems a little obvious. Share quickly about the skills, attitude, experience of an individual with a hiring manager. That's when you present the candidate. You have to be able to do it quickly. But here's the thing. He says it requires, listen to this, it requires some sales finesse. He didn't say what this term sales finesse means. He said, but there's many examples of great recruiters who don't have that sales background, but it doesn't hurt.
Did he name any of us?
Well, no names. That was another thing. Okay. So what is sales finesse? I know Phil's in Montreal. Finesse is a French word. So if you don't explain it well, I got him to come after you. Okay. What is sales finesse?
Man, it's going to be.
He doesn't know. He just uses that term.
It's being able to build rapport. You know, it's
exactly
being able to just communicate. You know, understand how to flow a conversation.
Ivan, how many languages do you speak? Please tell these people.
Okay.
Living in Switzerland, you have to speak at least
three
languages, right?
3 in Swiss. Yeah.
Explain them what finesse means. It's an international word.
Okay, Sasha, you tell me what sales finesse means. These guys said,
I can tell you what finesse is.
Okay, go ahead. He's looking at the ceiling. Yeah, thanks.
I can answer it. Sales finesse is being able to close the deal. It's being able to move from the nice conversation part to the closing. I lack sales finesse because I hate closing deals. I like keeping conversations.
I think
forever.
It's better to have the finesse to be able to open conversations.
You need it for
because you're gonna have waypoints that you need to get past to be able to get to the point where you're closing a deal. But opening that conversation off of a cold call or an initial conversation is probably more difficult.
You know,
are you saying that finesse and building rapport are the same thing? Because you started off saying building rapport.
Listen to The Godfather. Watch the movie. You'll learn what sales finesse is.
What example? I got a deal. I got an offer you can't refuse. I'm going to call people up and say that. Even Rich doesn't do that.
Finesse is getting people to move through the process. Move through the conversation.
Without them realizing that you're the one moving them through. That's the finesse, that things are happening, that you're controlling the situation, and the touch is so soft they don't even know it's you.
That's like mild manipulation.
Like putting a makeup. Like putting a makeup.
Like putting makeup.
Tommy, what's this finesse stuff? Are you going to let that go by?
Well, I think when I think of sales finesse, what I think of is you're talking, you're doing the deal, but you're also have secondary awareness. You're paying attention to what you're both saying, so you need to know when you have to course correct, get it back on track, push it this way, pull it that way. To me, that's the art of it. Anybody can present a candidate, anybody can ask to buy, but when to do it, how much force to use, that's the art.
You have an example that comes to mind, or should we save that for the next time you show up?
We'll save that for the next time. I got a couple, but I'll bring a story,
Okay, yeah. Anybody else got an example rather than general terms? What about you, Phil? You're so confident. By the way, you're a good closer. Don't tell me you're not. You got 3 jobs in 1 year with that bullshit. I'm going to stay for a month if I want. You're going to hire me. That's a close.
People are desperate. I think that's the main thing I've learned.
You'd have to be very relatable in those conversations and come across as very reasonable and leverage that a desire of a person to be reasonable. When you say things like, I think it would make sense to move forward. Would you agree? Or when you say something like, doesn't that sound reasonable? Because nobody wants to be unreasonable, and so you're making
like sales manipulation.
Yeah.
That sounds like sales.
No. That's the opposite of finesse.
I think you're way hung up on the word of finesse.
I'm going to look it up, and I won't
forget.
Like
your answer. Do it again.
I'm going to look it up. Okay, but here's what Michael G. Cox, he lays out something, then he pulls the rug out from under himself, but you don't really need it. You don't need. His great recruiters don't have any sales finesse. Who were you thinking of? Somebody said did he name anybody? Who were you thinking of?
I don't think I named anybody. No.
No, you didn't. Now's the time. Come on. Donna, you take this guy to task. I mean, put his feet on the fire. Okay. Why do I have to do it?
It's more fun watching you.
Okay. Does anybody know a great recruiter, to quote Michael G. Cox, who does not have sales finesse?
Besides ourselves?
A great.
Yeah, I'm not a great recruiter. I have none. Who? You have finesse? You don't have any finesse? Is that what you're saying? Does anybody? No, nobody knows it. Nobody knows any other recruiters.
A great recruiter that does not have finesse.
I don't know any great recruiters that don't have finesse. They all have finesse.
But listen, I know productive recruiters that don't have a lot of finesse, but because of the numbers game that they'll play, they're productive. Would you call them great and want to copy them? No, because then you're just going to be working excessively hard all the time, you know, when you can work a little bit less and have better results. But so I would say productive, not great.
You know, the bad part is now I've got to take a class in finesse.
Yeah.
Do you remember, wasn't there like a commercial for something with finesse, like finesse before you dress or something? Wasn't it like a body spray or deodorant or something?
Yes.
I don't know. I think there was.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well,
anyway,
you know what? Okay. So we're going to end it there. Well, I'll take he said a lot more stuff. Okay. That he didn't back up either. Okay. And the guy didn't ask him to. We'll just go make a round. Anybody got any parting words or they want to say? Anybody? Phil, do you want to say something about the job you're looking for? Is it a marketing manager, online marketing manager?
Well, I have interviews for SEO positions coming up, but no, right now my new spin is I no longer say I'm looking for 70K minimum, because I realize most companies will just say you are happy with 70K, and I said no, that is the minimum I'm looking for. So now I give them a real range and not the minimum acceptable offer. And I do switch to now I'm looking for 3 years instead of just a few months. So
you reminded me. Final question. A recruiter was given a job. They're paying 60 to 70. Okay, and he found a remote candidate in Brazil who will take 40, but he thinks he should be able to bill them 20% at 70 because that's what the going rate in the United States would have been. Does anybody agree with him that the company's paying a salary of 40, but he wants to bill them at 70? Anybody?
It's psychologically very bad idea. That's like, I mean, I would rather say, okay, for like remote people, it's like, let's do third. So it's like, go with the percentage of the fee up rather than just making like this psychologically dumb what the person does. Like, I mean, I would rather if the like fee is 25, then say, oh, remote. Yeah, we have to find really specialist person. Then it's 30% or something.
Flat fee. In other words, flat fee. That's
like, increase the fee, not the like, I'm basing it on some imaginary compensation the person actually isn't getting.
Okay.
But why didn't he just push for the Brazilian to get 70K instead of 40? It sounds like he made a mistake.
The cost of living is half apparently.
And you have more risk, right? I mean, it's like, okay, like there can be some, you know, you see now in some countries where people had developers, you know, now it's like a totally disastrous situation. So like, I mean, it's a really different risk profile. You have somebody in like not US, right? It's just
you guys are too international for me. I want to sign everybody off. Phil Tomlinson, raise your hand. Thank you. Sasha Tasanovic over there in Serbia. Thank you. Ernie, foodindustryrecruiter.com. Clang.so. And attorney, what a surprise. He's a modest man. He never threw that around like Zach did. I'm a lawyer. I'm a lawyer.
That's the first thing he said.
That's okay, Zach. You come back. We like you. Okay. Rich Rosen, Super Rich Rosen, cornerstonesearch.com, thesalesrecruiter.com, Michael G. Cox, who thinks he can get away with doing an interview without backing up what he says.
So very sorry that I cheated on the animal show.
That's okay. I always tell people, ask me to speak at places. I say, I don't want to speak. Ask anybody on the show. And they never they never take me up on it.
They want you, man.
Tom Tuna, the great Tuna, and Donna Terrell. Thank you, everybody. Have
a good day, guys.
Goodbye.
Yeah.